Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about new build properties. So whether they are good or whether they're bad. Now I'll give you some context. Basically, one of my followers recently asked me to do a video on this based on the fact that she really wants one, she's really keen on it, but she's just thinking like, why is there so many people against it? Why are there so many negative reviews essentially? So I thought, yeah, definitely this is really an interesting topic to like look into. And I think also an area that many people may be struggling with in terms of whether to go older property or newer property. So let's start with the pros of new build properties. Now personally, like, I don't blame her. I also wanted a new build property at first, and that's just simply because like they're new, they're shiny, like everything's in perfect condition, like they're built up to the latest specs in technology, and so like you get all the smart home features, like everything just feels so good. Like you're the first person to move in, like nobody else has been there before you. It's a clean slate. All you have to do is worry about getting furniture in and decorating how you like. You don't need to worry about fixing any potential like issues because it should be in warranty. Like, you know, it's new, it's brand new. Everybody loves something brand new. It's just like the feeling of getting a brand new car. Like, it's just, you love it. So yeah, like I can definitely see why a lot of people want to go new build properties, because that is a very big advantage. The second advantage is that if you're going to be able to benefit from any of the government incentives, naturally you're going to have to go for a new build property. So anything like the government help to buy scheme where you get the equity loan, or even like the shared ownership scheme, they're all based on new build properties and you can't get them on older properties. And so yeah, that's definitely another big reason why you'd probably want to go for a new build property. Advantage number three, you can potentially make decisions about the finishing touches on your new build property. So most times the properties aren't built yet, and so like you buy them before you've actually seen them. So in that sort of situation, you could decide whether like you want certain types of flooring, you can decide on the kind of tiles that you want in the kitchen and the bathroom, the kitchen counters, like things like that. You can potentially have your say. And to be honest, that's a really nice thing to be able to have, like to be able to basically build your own dream home and design it to your own specifications. Like that's definitely an advantage. I've also heard that in some cases you can even decide on sort of like the design and maybe the structure a little bit in terms of like what goes where. So yeah, like I mean, like if you're really like precious about this and it's something that you're keen to do, then new build may be for you. The next advantage is that with new build properties where you're the first person to live in the property, there's not going to be any chain on the property. So that means you don't have to worry about the fact that you can only move in once the current owner has bought a new place to move into. So you remove all of that, which can be a big headache for a lot of like home purchases, because you know people are waiting on chains in order to complete on their home purchase. So you don't have to worry about any of that with a new build property. Next advantage, they are energy efficient. So because with new build properties, they're built to like the highest specs, you know, latest advancements in technology, they're able to incorporate a lot of things that, you know, older properties won't have. So like energy efficiency, you'll be saving a lot of money on your energy bills with a new build property. And so that's another good advantage of them. The fifth and final advantage that I'm going to speak about in this video is the fact they are known to be low maintenance. So with a new build property, just like with anything else that's new, like you don't expect it to break or have any issues within the first like few years, do you? Just like a car. So it's the same with new build houses. You don't have to worry about the fact that you're going to have to pay for any repairs or like fix anything because it's brand new. Like there should be no issues. And even if there is, you've got a warranty of the property, which you do not get with older properties. However, although being low maintenance is supposed to be an advantage of a new build property, I've definitely heard otherwise. So I'll refer back to that Panorama documentary whereby new build properties do like have issues sometimes in terms of like, you know, the piping, the water pipes, all that kind of stuff, like causing issues and, you know, leaks and things like that. So I definitely say like do your due diligence, do your research and make sure that when you do go for a property, whether it's old, whether it's new, like you want to make sure that things are working as they should be. Do your surveys, more importantly. So this point actually now leads me nicely onto the disadvantages of new build properties. So first of all is the build material. So it's kind of a known thing that new build properties aren't built with the most like expensive, long wearing materials. Although they're said to be built with the highest specs, they tend to use cheap materials. That's what a lot of people say anyway, and that's what research also says out there. And so this is why like with new build properties, you may find that the walls are thinner, and so they're not very good at hiding noises. And so if you're in an area whereby you've got noisy neighbours, then this will not be concealed by the walls. So you definitely want to be checking that when you're going to view properties. Disadvantage number 2 is the fact that the rooms are generally smaller, and so are the gardens, as well as there's also storage space. So like if you're somebody that's looking to get like decent sized rooms, pretty spacious, a good sized garden, then maybe getting a new build property is not for you. With older houses, you get a lot more room, a lot more storage space. So I have an example of a family member who's got a new build property, and even like their storage space, I can only think of 1 or 2 little storage areas that they have in their house. Whereas in our place here, like we've got loads of storage space. It's an older house, and in every corner that you look, there's just some hidden storage somewhere. And so if you're really keen on having lots of space to store your items, then you might want to look at an older property instead. Disadvantage number 3 is the fact that maybe you don't get value for money, in the sense that with new build properties, they are priced at a premium by developers based on the fact that they're brand new. Nobody else has lived there, and so you get charged that premium price. The price is not necessarily as a result of the fact that it has more to offer. It's not because the house is bigger or that rooms are bigger or that you've got more storage space. It's nothing like that. It's simply because of the fact that it's a new thing. Disadvantage number 4 is the fact that I've heard that it's harder to get a mortgage with a new build property, and that's simply because where they're priced at such premium prices, like lenders tend to give a lower LTV because they just feel like it's almost like a bigger risk for them to take on. So yeah, with a new build property, maybe you won't be able to get a 70% LTV and you have to put up a higher deposit. So you definitely need to factor this in terms of your affordability, in terms of what you can reasonably put down as a deposit on your home. Disadvantage number 5 is the fact that they're leasehold properties. Now, I spoke about this in my last video, but basically the issue with a leasehold property is basically that you don't want to allow the number of years on the property to reduce beyond like 80 years. And to be honest, I wouldn't even leave it to 80 years. I would personally say like do not allow your lease to get lower than 90 years. And that's just because once a property hits 80 years, it gets really hard for anyone to get a mortgage on it. And so if you're trying to sell your property, you're going to find it very hard to get a buyer who's trying to use a mortgage to purchase. If they're a cash buyer, then maybe not an issue. But yeah, the cost of extending a lease as well are so expensive when it hits to like 80 years. I think from 80 years, it costs about £10,000 to extend the lease. Not everybody has that sitting around. And especially if you're trying to sell your property, you don't want to spend that much on trying to extend the lease, and then really that takes away from any equity you may have in the property. So yeah, leasehold is definitely a big thing to consider if you're deciding whether to go for an older property or a newer property. So yeah, that's it from me. Those are the pros and cons of getting a new build property. Hopefully this video has helped you to like sort of make your mind or get closer to making up your mind on whether you want to go new build or an older build property. If you found the video useful or enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do also remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on your bell notifications. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.